Ask Reddit by complete tip 6619. If you could have a 30-minute conversation with any historical figure, dead or alive, who would it be and what burning question would you ask them? I'd ask Charles Dickens if he agrees that Muppets Christmas Carol is the best reinterpretation of his work ever, assuming he's seen it. And assuming he hasn't? If we don't have to know the person's name, I'd ask the unidentified author of the Voynich manuscript what language and writing system it uses. I was just fucking around. Jesus Christ. I'm not religious, but considering how profoundly impactful he has been on the history of our species, we really don't know much about him. The main thing I'd want to do is try and find out if he was genuine or not, as this would answer one of life's biggest questions. Aside from that, I would also just like to learn a lot about such an important and mysterious figure. What was he like? What did he look like? What were his opinions on things? How would he feel about modern society? All questions I would love to ask him. If I'm choosing someone not based on wanting to solve a mystery, but on genuinely wanting to have a conversation with the person, then I'm choosing George III. He has always been a figure of great fascination to me and I'd love to get to know him, preferably before he went off the rails. What if he turns out to be a guy who is a bit douchy, like a pre-influencer? One of those hyped up YouTubers who gives sandwiches to the homeless for clout colon. I'd definitely like to do something for someone like Van Gogh in the Doctor Who episode. https://www.youtube.com/watch?vubgj_ufpk. I made the mistake of rewatching that episode while grieving my dog recently. It's the best episode of the show for me and I rewatch it all the time, but it's an awful choice when you're sad and heartbroken and in pain. Socrates. I'd ask him what his burning question is. Whoa there, we don't want THW world imploding. Nikola Tesla. Asking about the real why and how of his ends. Other than him, as a German probably angry mustache man. I'd speak with my birth mother since in this scenario she can't refuse, and I'd ask her who my father is. She could refuse to tell the truth. Margaret Thatcher. Ask her whether she has girl power and whether she effectively utilized girl power by funneling money to illegal paramilitary death squads in Northern Ireland. William Shakespeare. We know about him from official documents, church ledgers and court records, but know almost nothing about him as a person. Most of all, there are lost years. He went from a middle-class upbringing in Stratford, son of a local glove maker, disappears from records entirely for about 4 years, and then the next mention of him is in London as an upstart playwright. Where did he go? What was he doing? How did he go from a totally ordinary kid without a college education and probably expected to go into the trades like his father to the world's most renowned writer? I'd love to meet him as well. Genghis Khan. I'd ask him, why are you hitting yourself, while I grab his arms and make him hit himself. Then we'd all laugh and play a nice game of checkers. Ptolemaeus I of Egypt. I'd ask him 2 questions. What made him throw in his lot with Alexander of Macedonia, and what made him decide to settle for Egypt alone when he could have had Egypt and much more of the Hellenic region if he'd just pushed for it. Get ready, the Alexander as Greek is coming. Einstein and his unified field theory. Mikhail Gorbachev and what could have been were it not for Yeltsin. While I am religious and pray, therefore speaking to Jesus, I would like to have a face-to-face conversation and ask about some personal issues that I do not wish to share online for the world to see. George Washington about his time in the British Army. We know you're really gonna ask about the national treasure. Nikola Tesla. With today's advancements in tech, how would you refine your concept of the Wardenclyffe Tower to make global wireless energy a reality? Michael Jackson. I'd ask his 100% honest opinion about Prince as an artist. Don't ask this to Instagram users. What do you think they'd say? I'd show Archimedes an 8-pack of DR peppers. It would blow his mind. Charles Edward Stuart, Bonnie Prince Charlie. Ask him why he didn't push on to London. Nicholas Tesla. I'd ask how he managed to transmit electricity over large distances without using cables. We know how he did it, the difficulty is making a practical, profitable system out of it. I would choose someone who is alive. They'd probably be a better conversationalist. I would have a chat with Abraham, the OG prophet. Try to tell him about Jesus and Muhammad and his views on their respective religions. Also ask him about the Jews and which of these 3 religions carry his true legacy according to him. That'd be fun. He would end up being the one asking you about Jesus, Mohammed, and those 3 religions. You would just be talking to some random shaman who happened to be living in the right time and place to have his ramblings be magnified beyond his comprehension into legends that would leave him as baffled as we are. Adolf Hitler. I would ask, WTF is wrong with you? I would raise him, put him in a gas chamber for 30 minutes and kill him again. Preferably dressed as a Jew. If they are dead, they probably won't reply and just sit there reeking of rotting flesh. Depends how long they have been dead.